Your Majesty, Excellencies, against the backdrop of complex geopolitical challenges and macroeconomic fragilities, an ASEAN community that plays a central role in shaping the evolving regional architecture, an ASEAN community that is dynamic, innovative, and integrated with the global economy, and an ASEAN community that can realize the full potential for its peoples, is the indispensable bedrock for a peaceful, stable, and resilient region. In order to harness the potential of our region, I believe that ASEAN must now redouble its efforts, especially in these following priority areas. First, ASEAN should uphold international law and the international rules-based system, which has underpinned the peace, security, stability, and prosperity of our region.
Welcome to the 42nd ASEAN Summit. Before we proceed with today's meeting, we would like to inform the safety procedures. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, may I have your attention? Please remain calm and exit the room through the main door. The meeting point is located outside.
Thus begs the question.
Deep friendship and solidarity. We are welcoming centrality and unity and furthering cooperation across.
Distinguished ASEAN leaders, at the moment, the global economy is not fully recovered. Major power rivalries continue to sharpen. Global dynamics becomes more unpredictable. And thus begs the question, will ASEAN remain to be a spectator? Will ASEAN remain silent? And will ASEAN be capable of being an engine for peace and economic growth. I am confident that we are confident that ASEAN is capable as long as we hold a key element, unity. With unity, ASEAN would be able to play a central role in bringing peace and growth. ASEAN must continue to increase efforts to strengthen economic integration, reinforce inclusive cooperation, including through the implementation of the RCEP, and strengthen the regional health architecture, food security, energy resilience, and financial stability. Let us work hard to realize ASEAN Matters epicentrum of growth. And with that, I declare the 42nd ASEAN Summit opened.
Berikutnya saya mengundang Yang Mulia Ferdinand Bongbong Romualdez Marcos Junior, Presiden Republik Filipina. Yang Mulia, saya persilahkan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Your Majesty, Excellencies. I would like to express at the outset my appreciation to the Indonesian government for bringing us to this beautiful place and for the generous hospitality extended to the Philippines and its delegation. Also, allow me to take this opportunity to welcome Prime Minister Soneksay Sipandon and Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, as well as Prime Minister Jose Maria Vasconcelos to our ASEAN Summit. Your Majesty, Excellencies, against the backdrop of complex geopolitical challenges and macroeconomic fragilities, an ASEAN community that plays a central role in shaping the evolving regional architecture, an ASEAN community that is dynamic, innovative, and integrated with the global economy, and an ASEAN community that can realize the full potential for its peoples, is the indispensable bedrock for a peaceful, stable, and resilient region. In order to harness the potential of our region, I believe that ASEAN must now redouble its efforts, especially in these following priority areas. First, ASEAN should uphold international law and the international rules-based system, which has underpinned the peace, security, stability, and prosperity of our region. As a staunch advocate of the protection of the rights and welfare of migrants, the Philippines welcomes Indonesia's ASEAN chairmanship priority of strengthening regional cooperation to address cross-border crimes, particularly trafficking in persons caused by the misuse of technology, and to mainstream the protection of migrant workers and their families in crisis situations. Second, ASEAN should demonstrate its commitment to the principle of free trade and to the multilateral trading system. I am pleased to announce that the Philippines has deposited its instrument of ratification for the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, or RCEP, agreement. We are optimistic that RCEP will serve as an engine of growth that will help build more resilient supply chains and support the integration of our micro, medium, and small-scale establishments into the global economy. ASEAN must strengthen cross-border connectivity and the interoperability of digital frameworks. We must forge a vibrant digital economy and ensure that our people are equipped with the digital skills for the future so that no one is left behind in the midst of our world's digital transformation. We must ensure that our food and energy systems are resilient in the face of the supply and price fluctuations triggered by geopolitical instability and conflict, of pandemics, climate change, logistic chain disruptions, and of fuel shortages. the Philippines aims to strengthen food security and production efficiency via the use of new agricultural technologies, upgrading technical and vocational education and training, and adopting climate and disaster resilient technologies. Decades of sustained economic growth and prosperity has resulted in longer lifespans in ASEAN. According to the Asian Development Bank, 1 out of 4 people in the Asia Pacific will be over the age of 60 by the year 2050. I think, therefore, that it is time that ASEAN should start discussing the concerns of an aging population, consistent with the Asian tradition of valuing our elders. We must view this both as an opportunity and as a challenge, especially in terms of adequate social benefits on the one hand and social empowerment on the other. ASEAN goals and work plans should ensure health for our elders, a safe and dignified and productive life. The Philippines will take bold steps to transition to renewable and alternative energy technologies in a secure and sustainable manner. Recognizing that a cleaner energy future is anchored on the supply of critical minerals, ASEAN should now start enhancing regional cooperation towards boosting the region's strategic industrial metals and minerals value chain. Third, ASEAN must be united in urging developed countries to fulfill their long-standing commitments to the Paris Agreement. Although developing countries such as the Philippines only account for less than 1% of global emissions, our countries bear the brunt of the devastating impacts of climate change. Developed countries have a moral obligation to support adaptation and mitigation efforts for the most vulnerable countries through technology transfer, capacity building, and climate financing. This to address loss and damage and to achieve necessary breakthroughs for climate action at a global scale. The Philippines recognizes that biodiversity can complement and synergize with ASEAN's initiatives in climate change, contributing to our efforts towards a more sustainable and resilient future. The conservation and sustainable use of biodiversity is also an intergenerational responsibility that the Philippines is proud to support through the ASEAN Center for Biodiversity. Your Majesty, Excellencies, as one community, it is imperative that we provide whole-of-community support to Timor-Leste as it continues its meaningful journey towards full ASEAN membership. Timor-Leste's membership can only strengthen our ASEAN community as it expands the reach of ASEAN's united front to face the challenges of the 21st century. As we embark on our vision for a bolder, more decisive, and cohesive ASEAN beyond 2025, let us renew our collective faith in the organization by consolidating our community-building efforts towards an ASEAN that truly matters. Thank you, Mr. Chair.